Good morning, 8th grade scholars. Happy Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 26. That line starts in standard form. 2y plus 3x is equal to negative 6. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that. 2y plus 3x is equal to negative 6. I want to go from standard form to slope-intercept. My slope-intercept should be y equals mx plus b. In order to do that, I know I have to isolate my y. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3x from both sides. 2y equals negative 3x minus 6. I put it this way because I know that I want it to be y equals mx plus b. You could also leave it negative 6 minus 3x and reorganize them later. My y is not isolated yet, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 on both sides. I end up with y equals negative 3 halves x minus 3, because negative 3 divided by 2 is negative 3 halves. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So that is going to go ahead and be answer choice letter D. Awesome. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to 28. 28 asks me for the slope of the line that contains negative 1, 2 and 5, 5. So I know that that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I have my negative 1, 2. This is my x1, this is my y1. And then I have my 5, 5. This is my x2, this is my y2. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the equation. My y2 is 5. 5 minus my y1 is 2. My x2 is 5. My x1 is negative 1. 5 minus negative 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 over 6. If I divide that by 3, because I know that I can simplify it, it equals 1/2. So the slope of the line that contains those 2 points is 1/2. Awesome. Last one, and then I'll let you guys go ahead and work on your own. So these ones are difficult because it's asking you the slope of a line that contains each pair of points. So in this instance, I have a, 0, and 0, b. So I'm going to go ahead and still stick with my y2 minus my y1 and my x2 minus my x1. In this instance, I have a, 0, and 0, b. So this is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, this is my y2. So I start with b minus 0, because that's my y1, over my x2, 0 minus a. Find the slope of the line that contains each pair of points. So a has to equal something, and b has to equal something. And they have to have the exact same slope on both of them. So in this instance, this would be my a, 0 would be my x-intercept, and 0, b would be my y-intercept. So go ahead and pause the video. Think about what possible values could be a, what possible values could be b. They both have to lie on the same line. Good. After you've discussed it, b minus 0, well, if I had b minus 0 equals, if b equaled 1, 1 minus 0 equals 1. And if a equaled 2, 1 minus 2 equals 2, that would have to be on the slope line of 1/2. Again, we're challenging and extending. We're wondering which slope of the line that contains each pair of points. Go ahead and try 30 and 31 on your own. They get more difficult. Okay, now, pardon me, if you wanted to try that with a partner, you could. So I'm going to move on to 32. The spiral review you're going to do on your own, so this is the last one I'm going to go over. 32 tells us what we want the slope to be. It gives us 2 points, x, 2, and negative 5, 8. So I know I'm going to, again, set up my y2 minus my y1 over my x2 minus my x1. Here, my x1 is x, and my y1 is 2, and my negative 5 is my my x2, and my 8 is my y2. So I have 8 minus 2 over my x2 is negative 5 minus x. And I want this to go ahead and equal -1 because that's what it tells me I want it to equal. So 8 minus 2 would be 6. So I know I want the bottom to be -6. So -5 minus x. How would I get this to equal -6? X would be +1 because -5 minus 1 is -6. 6 divided by -6 is equal to -1. So the x value in this instance would be 1. Okay, go ahead and try 32 through 37 with a partner, and then you'll move on to spiral review.